Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Mr. Kugun Naidu, Mrs. Paula Martini, Mr. Kamal Maharaj, Mr. Sipiwe Mchunu, Mr. Piyush Khandalwal, distinguished guests and online viewers, Namaskar and welcome to episode 3 of Yogcharcha. Yogcharcha is the discussion on yoga, a series of interactions with yoga experts. Today, I'd like to welcome Mr. Kamal Maharaj, educator and founder of the CEO of Vishwa Shakti Academy of South Africa, for his introductory remarks. This program is in association with Vishwa Shakti. Namaste and welcome, Kamalji.
Namaste, Vanakkam, Namaskaram, Saubona to everyone. It's really amazing to be back here for our third series for Yogcharcha. And let me say pranam to Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi ji. Pranam to all of you, that's Paula Martini, the Piyush ji, Sipiwe Mchunu, our program director Shishti Harinarayan, and our guest speaker today, none other than our always ready to be there. He's been involved in yoga, I think, for many, many years. Yogan, really very happy to have you here. And welcome. Thank you for sharing your expertise and your ideas with us. So yoga, this ancient practice, founded by the ancient masters, the ancient gurus of India, shared it with the world. And it is about time that those who have knowledge shared it with the modern world. And I take this opportunity to thank all those who are playing a vital role in this Yogcharcha series in trying to make sure that the philosophy, the physical practice of yoga, what all of us may call Hatha Yoga, and the spiritual aspects of yoga are shared with everyone. And I'm sure the questions that we have, the misconceptions, the entire ideas that will help us transcend the inhibitions that we have before approaching yoga can be dispelled with sessions such as these. Thank you so much, and may we have a fruitful discussion as we had in the last two. Thank you so much. Namaste, namaskar, Saubona.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamal Maharaj, and that is Mr. Kamal Maharaj, the CEO and founder of Vishwa Shakti, for your introductory remarks. Today, our guest expert yoga teacher is Mr. Kugun Naidu, who will be interacting with the beautiful Miss Paula Martini, a yoga practitioner. We welcome on episode 3 of Yogcharcha Mr. Kugun Naidu and Miss Paula Martini for their interaction. Namaste and welcome.
Thank you and welcome, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. It's an absolute honor and privilege to be chatting with you today. And I think we'll kickstart with our first question, which is, how do you understand and define yoga?
Yoga today is defined as being an exercise, but I would term it with a broader description being integration. Integration or union. That is what I would define yoga as such. Apart from the asana part, I'll use the word incorporation, integration, and union.
Okay, and union between the two parts.
It's union between the body, the mind, the soul. union between yourself and your environment, union between yourself and your colleagues. All that union is yoga.
Fantastic.
Union to join. So
Yes.
we can isolate ourselves and say, look, we are in the yoga classroom or the studio or the shala and say, this is yoga. The moment you step out, it continues. So the word union, if you are to take it to the workplace and take it to your community and take it to the environment, you become one with that. And that is where the broader spectrum of the word yoga is most important.
Absolutely agree. Couldn't agree more. It's complete and never ending.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And how did you get connected with yoga?
It started around 1987. I used to attend the Divine Life Society ashrams, and we used to have regular, 1984 it was. And I started teaching in 1987 as a junior teacher. And thereafter, it led to a deeper practice and eventually going to India and spending a good few years, cumulatively in India. And that's where the knowledge was deepened.
Wow. Absolute privilege to have got some training there too.
Absolutely.
And how do you feel do you feel any difference in your own life due to your practice of yoga? How has it affected your daily living?
Absolutely. I think the biggest transformation for me, and I'm sure other practitioners or teachers may feel the same way, is that the transition from where the yoga changes from the physical. That should be the stepping stone for yogis and practitioners, where you identify, look, something deeper is happening. Something is changing. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. Although I've been practicing for many years, there was a break in the mid-90s. And thereafter, I started again. But it's only in the last 5 or 6 years, the transformation took place where the actual yoga was going deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper, meaning from the physical, it was affecting the psychological, it was affecting your behavior, affecting the manner in which you interact, the manner in which you interpret certain things. So I would say for me, the transformation has been more especially in the last 4 to 5 years.
Oh, wow.
The yoga has changed me and actually made my life richer by simplifying my life. If I could use the word.
Yes.
So yes, very much simplified, but a richer life.
Yes. Yes. It's the simplicity, isn't it?
It's the simplicity, the beauty of yoga, the beauty of the science of yoga comes in the simplicity. When you're able to break everything down to the core, what is my motive in this? What is my function in this? What is my duty in this? Then you have clarity. And once you have that clarity, whether it's your work, whether it's your family, whether it's your community, whether it's your studies, that's where the progress comes in. You have decluttered.
Yes.
So I think for a very large part of my life, the decluttering and the simplification is where the yogic transformation has come.
Wonderful. I can totally relate to that. And do you have any specific style or school of yoga? And if you can explain it for our viewers and audience today.
Okay, currently and for the last few years, I'm studying with the Iyengar School of Yoga, founded by BKS Iyengar. Our, I won't say head office, but the parent body is in Pune, Maharashtra, in India. So that's where we would go when available to Pune. But most of our teachings are done. The assignments are sent locally, and we've got a South African body, Iyengar Association of South Africa, which we belong to, and they facilitate our studying going forward. Just a little more on the Iyengar-based yoga is that it just focuses more on the alignment as such. It's a very alignment-based yoga style where each part of the body has to be aligned in a certain way. And for me, why it worked is in order for you to align the body, you've got to align the mind. And once the body and mind is got into that alignment of the pose, you'll find that you can go deeper into the pose, you can go deeper into your practice. But more especially, this school of yoga also allows or focuses a lot on therapeutic yoga, where certain poses can be beneficial for certain chronic and sometimes acute conditions, where certain asanas are sequenced and where the practitioner or patient in certain cases are put into certain poses together with the relevant pranayama techniques to alleviate those chronic ailments. It's not a cure, however. It's not going to cure your ailments. But we're not saying, look, do this pose, it's going to cure you. But it's going to assist you. So this, together with the allopathic medicine, will assist you in dealing with these chronic ailments. There are certain cases where you'll have a sports injury, something where a physiotherapist will work with. Some of these poses can assist you in alleviating those conditions. So there are lots of benefits of asanas in a therapeutic approach, in a restorative approach as well, which can be used. Therefore, this style of Iyengar yoga is noted for the therapeutic effect, the alignment, and where we also bring in props, where props are used. If a person cannot do a full forward fold, full forward fold, sorry, you place two blocks on the floor, you just ease them into the pose. So you're allowing the practitioner to get into a pose to a certain degree, using props to assist him to get into those poses. Once he's stable in the pose, once he has confidence in that pose, you can start decreasing the number of props and eventually is able to do the posture.
Yes. So you're listening to your body the whole way through.
Listening to the body, but at the same time, not harming the body. So using the props, even if a cushion or a pillow can be regarded as a prop. If you find it difficult to sit on a hard floor doing swastikasana, and if you use a foam, but you're still aligned properly, that's a prop. The foam or a pillow has assisted you in doing the asana better. So a lot of people have found relief using these props.
Yes, agreed. And do you feel that yoga is not only a physical exercise or a scheduled activity, but is an integrated approach and understanding to live life in its entirety?
There as well, I would say that it's a transitioning process. It has to start with the class. It has to start with the schedule. It has to start with the regiment. That's where the discipline comes in. I am going to class every day at 5 o'clock. I am doing these asanas every day for 1 hour. I am doing these 12 asanas this week. I am doing the 12 asanas next week. The regiment and the discipline has to start. It has to start there. You've got to condition the body and condition the mind to doing the asanas first. So once discipline is adhered to, the same discipline, the same training of the mind can be inculcated and incorporated into your other activities.
Yes.
Once we have that discipline, once we have that regiment, and we are steadfast and practice our asanas on a regular basis, as Dr. Maharaj pointed out earlier on, the transition occurs. Now, when you do certain asanas, the mind is talking to the body is talking to the mind. They are in sync. They've got to be there. That unity, that yoga of the body and the mind has to be together. Once the body and the mind are together, that's when the soul starts coming alive. So it's three parties now. You've got the body, you've got the mind, and you've got the soul. You've got some degree of unison. When that starts happening, the body is in a healthy state. And when that body is in a healthy state, the progression starts. The progression starts on a physiological level. Remember, when you are stressed and we are under duress, your body secretes certain chemicals. People become sick due to the secretion of chemicals over a number of years. Your doctor will tell you, don't take on stress, you'll get sick, you'll get an ulcer. What causes that? It's the chemicals in the body. On the other hand, certain chemicals are released. There's a chemical process happening once you pass that initial stage of the asana and where the practice is regular and the practice is getting deeper. The chemical processes changes your body and changes your mind. Once that happens, you start looking at life differently. You start appreciating certain things that you couldn't see before. That butterfly was in front of you, you walked past it. The mind could not see the beauty in that butterfly because it was a different state. So once the awareness comes in, the word is awareness, the awareness of the mind, the awareness of the body, the awareness of the soul. Once you become aware of what you're doing, you become aware of your surrounding itself. And that's where you'll find that you have a better life, a more wholesome life, is when that awareness steps in. And that awareness only comes in through the regular practice and the discipline of whatever, not necessarily yoga asanas. Yoga asanas, sure, they design the asanas themselves are designed to get a certain outcome. Typically, when you are in Virabhadrasana 3, the warrior pose 3, your arm is extended, right? The arm is extended. You can see the arm in front of you, but you can also feel the arm. So you can see the arm, you can feel the arm. You've got the body, the mind, and the soul all alive at the same time. That's opening up certain faculties in your body. And it's when these faculties open, the awareness comes in. And then the awareness comes in, the light comes in. So it's the yoga, the joining of the body, mind, and soul. The awareness comes in, brought about by the asana and the practice, together with the pranayama. Then you start seeing everything. The lights come on. The awareness comes in. And that is where you can say, look, you can have a fuller life, a more integrated life. All of us have the same 24 hours, but your 24 hours become a little brighter because the blinkers are taken off. And the blinkers are taken off when the awareness comes in. And awareness comes into the practice of concentration, your asanas, and your meditation.
Absolutely. It's like walking around without needing glasses.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wonderful. And I've actually made a couple of notes there because you really did touch on a few points that are really noteworthy. So thank you. Do you feel that yoga is an art and science which gives us a sense of affinity and connectedness with the entire universe?
Absolutely, absolutely. To start off, you've got to understand that yoga teaches you now, yoga, the school of yoga, right? We all understand, sorry, I'm just going to take something away from my screen here. We all understand that yoga is an art and a science, but also a school. It's a school of thought, written by sage Patanjali, right? And there it talks about the Atma, the single soul, the Paramatma, which is the supreme soul. So in yoga, it's, okay, where are we going to? Where do we want to go to? So the school of yoga itself believes that there is that integration between the Atma and the Paramatma. The Atma, the integration between the singular soul and the supreme soul, which is that cosmic energy. And once you strive towards that cosmic energy, once you strive towards that cosmic love, you set yourself on a certain frequency. So firstly, we spoke about awareness. Secondly, we're speaking about frequency. When you have meditative practices, when you have yoga practices, when you have a lot of divine chanting, you are raising your frequency. And when your frequency changes, you're now tuning in like a radio to a different frequency. You're tuning into the frequency of love. You're tuning into the frequency of compassion. And once you have that love and compassion, you start seeing things in a different way. You look at nature in a different way because certain faculties, through the chemical reaction and through the physiological action, and now you've got the awareness and you've got the frequency. So see how the compounding of what's happening in our body and the transition. We started off with just an asana. You started off getting the physiological, you started getting the chemicals right. Now you've got the awareness. Now you've got the frequency. So your body, the state of your body in asanas is evolutionary as per your practice. And it is in this practice that you now see the world in a different way. When you're talking about cosmic love, you are now one with the world. You don't separate. As a yogi and a practitioner, you are not a separate entity. The Atma and the Paramatma exist because they are two parts of each other. So you as a yogi, following the school of yoga or the science of yoga because there's certain phenomena, there's a certain science. How we approach it needs to be a science. How we live it needs to be a philosophy. The practice of that philosophy, which you can bring down to an art. How you practice your yoga, how you get into your postures. The art also means the integration of being a yogi. You can walk into an environment, right? And if you go into a room full of colleagues or a room full of guests, and if you find that they're consuming certain beverages or eating certain foods that are not yogic as such, how do you behave? How do you interact? How do you integrate? You cannot be a yogi in a classroom, a yogi in a shala doing a certain pose, doing Siddhasana, headstand for 30 minutes, perfect. But you're walking into a practical situation and become repulsive. Oh, I need to stay away from you. You are eating this. I need to stay away from you. You are drinking this. That's where the art comes in. Good evening, my fellow colleagues. How are you all? No, I won't have a drink. Can you just pour me some oranges? Okay, okay, I'll just have a salad and some potato chips. But be involved with the discussion. Be aware of what is happening. Be aware. Remember, we spoke about awareness. Raise your awareness. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't become involved in what is happening. Look at what is happening. Be aware. That is where the art of living comes in. You need to be an artist, the way you integrate yourself. You need to be soft. But walk into your yoga class, and if your student is not behaving, you have to be rajasic. If he's not doing that asana properly, to take out the tamasic nature in your student, you've got to crack the whip. That is what a teacher does. You've got to take that out from him. Shout at him, scold him. You told him to be in that pose for 3 minutes. Don't accept 2 minutes and 59 seconds because you're conditioning his mind. So that also comes to the art and the science of yoga. There's no simple rule. As a yogi, you must be able to blend into society without compromising what you stand for, but become integrated. So that is where you'll find yoga, art, science, life. It cannot be separated. It is one. But it starts at the classroom. It starts with that first asana. It starts with tadasana. It starts the way you're sitting. You're seated in your chair. Your spine is erect. Your chin is level. You're not doing this. This awareness of keeping the spine straight, the awareness of keeping your chin level, the awareness of keeping your shoulders level, that is awareness. You're not in a yoga studio. When you're driving, when you're sitting, when you're eating, the awareness is there. And yoga asanas, or the school of yoga, teaches us that. So it's a practice. So you have to come from the external, from the periphery. From the periphery towards your body. From your body, you go inside. You've got to have something tangible. And that's where the progress starts. Because if you don't have something tangible, the neophyte, the person that is starting on this yogic path, or the first person that's coming to class, don't ask him to meditate. Don't talk to him about the chakras. Don't talk to him about the nadis. Don't talk to him about what's happening on a physiological level to him, because he cannot see it. It's not tangible. He can see his fingers, he can see his wrist, he can see his shoulders, he can see his legs. Work with that. Work with what you can see first. Practice and then go with it. It will take weeks, it can take years, it can take decades, but it has to start there. So in the 8 limbs of yoga, Patanjali says, you've got to go from the external to the internal. You've got to start yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, pradhana, dharana, samadhi. You've got to start from the external going inside. But once you go inside, you start opening up. The beauty comes when you go inside. So when we talk about integration, that's how you integrate from a yogic point of view, from what I understand. Paula, I can't get your audio.
Ah, there we go. Sorry, it cancelled for a moment. Thank you so much for that. And do you feel that yoga represents universal energy or universal love and compassion?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because remember, in the Yamas and Niyamas of Sage Patanjali, what do we learn? We talk about ahimsa, asteya, brahmacharya. All of those ideals, the practices, the observances. Now, this part of yoga we're dealing with is not the physical aspect of yoga. We are talking about the morals, the ethics, the teachings. As a yogi, what do you do? This is where the cosmic love comes in. Ahimsa is non-injury. As a yogi, the love and compassion you start with is yourself. If you cannot love yourself and you're not compassionate to yourself in a yogic way, how can you become the light? How can you become compassionate? How can you help others? How can you heal others when you haven't healed yourself? So all this Patanjali talks about ahimsa. It starts with yourself. As a yogi, don't go to a shoulder stand, hurt your C6 and C7 vertebra, and be in bed for 6 months. Where is the ahimsa? Where is the compassion to yourself? But once you develop that compassion to yourself, once you have that softness inside, that ahimsa will permeate. It'll permeate to your family, it'll permeate to your immediate community, and eventually it'll permeate wherever you meet with. Your ahimsa, the vibration that you carry, that yogic, internal yogic practices, they will feel it. And most often that when you feel it, you'll find that why is it that sometimes when a saint or sage walks into a certain arena or a certain room, it becomes quiet? What vibration is he spreading? He's spreading a vibration that's of a very high frequency, a vibration of love, cosmic love. So coming back to your question, one of the fundamentals of yoga is not the postures. Yama and niyama comes before the asanas. Yama, niyama, asana, and pranayama. That's the sequence in the yoga school, the yoga school of teaching. So when the yamas and niyamas inculcate this, and that is where we need to start. Truth, non-violence, non-injury. That's where it starts. Once the truthfulness comes in there, once the ahimsa comes in there, everything else will fall into place. And automatically, your progression.
Absolutely. And can we ask you to suggest some asanas for us? I think we're both sitting in an office environment in our chairs, and perhaps, you know, so many of us now are working from home and that kind of thing. And instead of having to go onto a physical mat, yoga is everywhere. So we could literally be able to do it on our desks or at our desks.
The biggest thing I find is that you'll find when people are seated at a table or a desk, always look at the spine, look at the shoulders. It needs to be kept open. You need to see the width of the shoulder and the length of the area from the sternum going all the way up to the throat. Now, unfortunately, we have to write. What do? I'm at my desk, right? I'm writing. I'm rounding and I'm slouching. I'm eating. I'm rounding and I'm slouching. So not everybody could sit upright like this. Most of us do this. This causes a roundness in the entire thoracic region, right? And certain become hung. So if I turn my chair, look at what is happening. See this roundness? And the closing. So we need to undo this roundness. So you need to open the chest. So while seated on the chair, take your arms out to the side. Take your arms out to the side. Even if it goes behind the chair, open that chest. Lift the sternum and look up. Feel that lift. Feel the sternum lifting. Feel the chest opening from left to right. And release. And release. Once more, take a breath. So imagine you've got a cross. You've got a cross here. Picture the cross of Jesus. Yeah. And the cross is all compressed. And it's not straight. And you want to open the cross. So with the breath, you breathe in. And you open and you show that cross and you lift. and you breathe out. And breathe in again and open that cross, open the chest. Let the T part of the sternum open and lift. Now, all you need to do 5 or 6 of this so that this posture here doesn't build up from 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, then 10 o'clock we're lifting, then 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. All we have to do is practical. You have to do what's practical. Then you get up at night and say, I don't know why the trapezius is paining. I don't know why my neck is paining. This is why. None of I don't know why anymore. This is why. Your trapezius muscle and your neck muscle is paining because you're doing this. You're taking this entire neck muscle and you're pulling it over the cervical column and it's pulling this way. So take this muscle now with your hand, hold this muscle with your hand and push it back. Push that trapezius muscle back. Push it back. Push it back. Roll it back so that it falls down the spine. Can you feel that? Is it feeling better? Push the entire cervical, push this trapezial muscle behind. Push it behind. Push it behind. Push it behind. Push it behind. Let it fall to your back. Fall to your back and sit now. The trapezius is falling behind you. I feel better. That's number 1. Right. Let's do something known as Padangoliasana, bound hands. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Rotate at the wrist, turn your fingers away and keep the arms stretched. Breathe in and raise up the arms. And now start from your hip. Start from your hip and lift the spine. Lift the spine and your wrist towards the ceiling. And breathe out and release. Change the interlace of your finger. If you have the left forward, now the right forward at the bottom finger. Change your interlace. Rotate at the wrist, turn the palms away from you. Breathe in and raise up the arms and stretch. And look up. And look back forward. And release your hands. Outstretch the hands in front of you. Place the left hand under the right, the fingers, and pull your fingers back. Just the side, pull your fingers back. Give the fingers some exercise. You've been writing all day with your computer. Pull all your fingers back. How does that feel? So the wrist is moving forward and the fingers are moving back. And release. And change hands. This stimulates the entire arm quite a bit. And release. Interlace your fingers once again. Rotate at the wrist, turn the palms away from you. Breathe in and raise up the arms. Right? If you have an armrest in the chair, just sit right a bit. And now side stretch all the way to the right. Breathe in back to center. And breathe out as you side stretch all the way to the left. And breathe in back to center and repeat. Let's side stretch all the way to the right again. Breathe in back to center and out to the left. Breathe in and come up. Breathe out and release your hands. If you have an armrest, you can hold the armrest. Right? And let's twist now to the right. So hold the armrest with both hands and just use the strength of the armrest. Hold on to the armrest and just twist. If you keep this hand lifted, so the left hand is going over to the right armrest and you're twisting over. So your bottom bones are firmly on the chair. The spine is lifted and twisted. And release, release, and change. Now the right hand hold on to the left armrest. Lift this hand up and twist. So use the strength of the armrest now to twist you. And release your hands. Release your hands. Now, as you breathe in, you can sit a bit forward. As you breathe in, raise up the head. And as you breathe out, release the chin to the chest. Breathe in, raise up the head, take the head all the way back. Breathe out and release the chin to the chest. Raise up your head. Now let's take the right ear to the right shoulder. Stretching the left side. Breathe in and come up. Left ear to the left shoulder, stretching the right side. Breathe in and come up. Now look to the right. So the chin is in line with the right shoulder. And release. And look to the left. And release. Right. Now let's bring some awareness into this. Let's bring some awareness into the simple neck rotation, right? We're bending our neck from side to side, alleviating stress. Picture the base of your spine. With your mind, feel the base of your spine. The bottom, where you're sitting. Feel where the spine starts. Breathe in. Now, release the chin, but let that release start from the base of the spine and see what a beautiful difference it is. The release is starting from the base of the spine, going all the way up to the spine as your chin releases to the chest. Your awareness is on the entire spine, not the chin. And breathe in. Take the weight all the way back, but the awareness is now on the base of the spine and the entire spine. Once again, chin to the chest, breathing out. And feel the entire spine. Breathe in, take the head back, feeling the length of the spine. And release to a neutral position. Now let's take the left ear to the left shoulder and feel the length of the spine from the base of the spine. And come up. Change over to the right side. Right ear to the right shoulder. And come up slowly. Now, breathing out, take the chin to the chest, have that awareness in the entire spine. And slowly start to rotate, taking your ear to the shoulder and your head back, feeling the entire spine as you breathe in, take the head back. And as you breathe out, release, release, release. 4 slow rotations, but feel that rotation happening from the base of the spine. Very slow movements. The next way your movements must be slow. But feel it from the base of the spine going all the way up slowly. And slowly release the chin to the chest and change the direction of the rotation. And as you complete this round, slowly bring your head back to a neutral position. Now the eyes. Look now to the top left corner and release. Top right corner and release. Bottom left corner and release. Bottom right corner and release. Look at the tip of your nose. And release. Now go from top right to bottom left, this way. Continue, just for 3 or 4 times. Top right to bottom left. And once you've done the 3 or 4, go from the other side. Top left to bottom right. And once you've done that, just close your eyes. Close your eyes, keep the spine erect. Keep those trapezius muscles running down the back like you had before. So the shoulder muscles are running down the back. Chest is open and your sternum is lifted. Now bring your attention to the area around your navel. And place your hands on your navel and just feel each time you breathe out, your hands going towards the spine. So just continue a few inhalations and exhalations very slowly, but only using the abdominal breath. Just use the stomach, just to breathe gently. The chest should not lift. Just use the stomach and let the nostrils now just make a sound, but the bellow, the movement and the force should come from the abdomen. Gentle Ujjayi breathing from the base, from the stomach. And just feel your attention going from the outside, from the periphery to your body, and from your body towards the heart. Gentle breathing. There should be no stress or strain. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Now, if you look, these very simple techniques took us 10 minutes. For every 1 hour that you're taking a break, or 1.5 hours from your work, do this. When you do more, it's better. But it is something so practical. It's all in front of us. We didn't do Sirasasana standing on our head. We didn't do Sarvangasana. We didn't do any dramatics, but we did something that's going to help us. While focusing on those asanas, your mind was completely absorbed, especially when I said to you, concentrate on that spine. At that point in time, you could think of nothing else. Am I right? So that is where you bring from the external, from the periphery into your body. And once you do that, the body, the mind, and the soul become one, that awareness will set in. And once that awareness sets in, the lights come. Right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm sure everyone will agree with us. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. With so much gratitude and love and light to you for the conversation, as well as these wonderful asanas. They and we all participated, and so simple for the folks at home to do. We can actually keep it on our feed, so we can refer to it once we get the knack of it. We'll be able to do it by ourselves. But thank you so much, with so much gratitude. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Paulaji, and of course, yoga expert Mr. Kugan Naidu, for that very deep insight on yoga. It was not just about the external, taking us deep into the internal, and of course, releasing all those chemicals with those beautiful chair asanas, which can be done not just in the office, but I'm sure in schools and basically anywhere that requires some deep stretching. Thank you so much, Paulaji and Kuganji, for joining us on episode 3 of Yogcharcha. I would like to now introduce Mr. CPM Chunu from the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban to render this afternoon's vote of thanks.
Namaskar. Greetings to all of you. Greetings to all of you. On behalf of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, I am so delighted today to deliver a vote of thanks on the 3rd episode of the program Yogcharcha, discussions on yoga. Allow me to thank the following online guests who took part on today's program. Sri Kamar Maharaj, educator and the founder, CEO of Vishwa Shakti, for the wonderful remarks that he did this evening. Secondly, allow me to thank Sri Kugan Naidu, a yoga teacher, and Ms. Paula Martini. They conducted a wonderful, very interesting discussions about the yoga. Whatever you said, Kugenji, it was very interesting. So I think for the asanas that I tried today, I'm gonna build on this platform. This is the beginning of my yoga, so I'm gonna build in this. The asanas that you demonstrated this evening were very interesting. So Kugenji, thank you very much. It was very nice. Thank you. To Director Chaitanya, to Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center in Devon, Srishti Harinarayan, Sri Piyush Khandelwal, thank you very much for taking part on today's program. To those who participated online, we'd like to say thank you very much for having time with us. You are kindly advised to visit our Facebook page so that you'll be updated about all cultural activities organized by Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center in Devon. Once again, to Kamal Maharaj ji, Kugen Naidu ji, Paula Martini ji, Danyabad for taking part on today's program. Other than that, have a wonderful evening. Namaskar.